Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar Breaking into AI Engineering. I'm Ruslan, Chief Technology Officer at Hyperskill, and today I'm with Ivan, who works at Hyperskill as well and works here as an AI engineer. Um, Ivan, can you please turn on the slide? Great. Next slide, please. Okay, we'll cover today the following topics. We'll start with a question: who is an AI engineer? Then we discuss what skills are essential for AI engineers. Then Ivan will guide you through his usual working day. Also, we'll go through the standard interviewing process for such positions and talk a bit about the future of this role. And in the end, we'll answer your questions. You can ask your question into QA section here, and we'll take a look at them at the end of the webinar. So,
Okay, yeah. So let's start with a simple question of who is an AI engineer. And the simplest solution to answer it is by to just simply write down all the tasks of a usual AI engineer day or whatever. So I like to group things. You'll see it a lot in today's presentation. So I want to group AI engineer job into in two groups of tasks. So first one is AI specific tasks, which are more about the specific of AI as an artificial intelligence engineer job. It is all about working with large language models. It is about understanding what's under the hood. It is about knowing how to deal with it, what algorithms are used, how to write prompts, which model to use, and so on and so on and so on. And the second part, which is also very important, is general engineering tasks, because AI engineer is an engineer and he don't just use large language models, but he needs to wrap them into some kind of a server or a service that everyone can use.
yep. And what is the main difference between the AI engineer and other AI ML related roles? We compare here data scientist and versus ML engineer and AI engineer. And if we talk about data scientists, main focus of data scientist is to explore data, find patterns in data, make analysis, and prototype the base ML model that solves some kind of product or business problem. Once this model is ready, ML engineer takes this model and integrates it in current systems, into production systems. ML engineer works on deployment, scalability, CI/CD pipelines, and etc. So AI engineer is kind of between these two roles because in LLM world we have state-of-the-art models, and usually we don't have to teach our own LLM model. So AI engineer takes ready LLM model and fine-tunes it through current tasks. And after that, AI engineer manage all the rest of the work to deploy that AI solution, to monitor this solution, to evaluate its results, and etc. So it's basically some kind of such differences. Yep. And where do AI engineers work? In what companies do they work? So AI engineers make the biggest impact in products leveraging cutting-edge large language models. It may be companies like Notion, Perplexity, where AI engineers work on the core functionality on search in Perplexity, for example, or on AI features in Notion. Also, AI engineers build products like GitHub Copilot, Cursor ID, Replit. And also, AI engineers works along with researchers in Anthropic, where they build tools like computer use, code assistant from Anthropic, and etc.
Okay, so what exactly does an AI engineer do in real project? First of all, the scope of tasks may be different from company to company, uh, depending on its size. So, as we are working in a startup or in a small company or even in a mid-sized company, there are usually a lot of tasks out of scope of AI that an AI engineer is also need to do. We'll start with project management related tasks because we don't want to do something abstract. We want to solve a real problem with the thing we are trying to build. Also, we do some AI related stuff like implement a retrieval augmented generation system, measure quality of our solution, and so on and so on. And as I said previously, we don't just build stuff, we need to give it to users, we need to show it somehow. And for this, we need to work as a developers. So we need to set up deployment, we need to write backend services and front-end services, connect to databases, and so on. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a dive into what is essential skills for AI engineers, and we will start with hard skills. Hard skills part one. AI engineer is an engineer and he needs to do some engineering stuff. And every AI engineer begins from a coder. So one needs to be proficient in Python, know and understand about OOP principles and data structures to build simple to read and reliable code. One needs to know how to work with databases and SQL to put his data into some manageable storage, to operate with it efficiently, and so on. We also want it to be we also want to be an efficient in our work. So we use coding tools, for example, Git, for example, IDEs. We use Dockers to set up our environment. We use a lot of libraries and frameworks, which helps us uh, by combining uh, by combining things that are commonly shared, and it is easier to reuse them in a library. We also sometimes need to put our model into production base, so that's where MLOps skills come in handy. And one of the most underrated skills for me is efficient debugging, because uh, dealing with bugs is like 50% of your real work. And to be efficient in debugging is super important and boosts your efficiently like 2 or 3 times. Now, let's talk about more AI related skills. Um, I came from a machine learning background. So for me, I think it's important to understand basics of what's happening inside the things that I'm building. So for me, it's crucial to have some knowledge about machine learning basics like ML techniques, what is NLP, natural language processing, maybe get some glimpse of how computer vision works. Of course, for me, it is super important to understand fundamentals of neural networks because, yeah, modern day providers making work with LLM super easy. is just an API. But dealing with side effects, dealing with, you know, token count, token user usage, why it is built in some way, how does it work, with all of this, fundamentals of neural network is super important. Then, neural networks are not the simplest abstractions we have. We also have abstractions that are built on top of neural nets. For example, large language models is basically um, an attention combined with a lot of layers, combined with encoder architecture, and it is also important to understand why and how it is built. And the like the top layer of abstraction that AI engineer is dealing with is something like LM-based systems. For example, RAGs, as I said before, AI agent, and a new hype theme is MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. Everything for me, it is important, and I believe that it should be important for every AI engineer. Now, there are a lot of things to learn. So we have a lot of text. Sorry, I have a dog. So we have a lot of tech skills that we need to improve every day because everything is growing bigger and bigger. Sorry, 1 second. And I'm back. I hope you excuse me for this delay. So here are my top 4 tips that help everyone and help me to level up my tech skills. So go deep into the tech. With the rise of AI coding, this is the most crucial skill to learn because once, because of course you can build something simple with new AI coding tools. But once it stopped to work, you need to go deep into the details. You need to understand what was the core issue. You need to understand why it doesn't work the same way as you intended. So, super important stuff. Do it every day in your work. Even if you understand how things go in, each time you can get deeper and deeper, and it will be always helpful. Okay, embrace project-based learning. Just learning about technologies isn't enough. Just learning theory isn't enough. Please build real products. I mean, real not in terms of like real company products, but products are also fine. It is super important to have a hands-on experience with the technologies you're learning and working. Third one is experiment is in isolation and integrate in practice. This is just a simple tip that it's easier to learn something new in isolated environment, but when you integrating it with other tools, a lot of new stuff is coming up, and a lot of problems and learning opportunities are often appear at the intersections of some technologies. And tip for your mental health, for your mental stability, is to connect with others in the field. It is not just easier for you to learn new skills this way, but it will speed up your learning curve. Every day you'll find something new, something to look after your, for example, friend who is also working in the field. Now, tech skills are important, but we also have soft skills. Okay.
Yeah, soft skills are important. True. The first skill I want to talk about is communication and collaboration. Uh, Engineers should be able to clearly share ideas and work smoothly with other team members in cross-functional teams. The time when engineers were separate from the product and etc. is over, and now engineers should be deeply integrated in product and also sometimes even talk to real users of the project to solve their problems. A second important skill is ability to act independently and reliably. It is about taking ownership, making decisions, and taking the responsibility in uh, some cases and consistently delivering quality results. Third one is ability to manage themselves effectively. So it's about tasks organization, ability to meet deadlines, and to communicate about these deadlines to other team members. Next one is making decision and solving customer problems. It's about like quickly identifying solutions. Do not get bogged down in and or get stuck in some decision paralysis and be able to solve problems and take action when needed. Next one is very important is to be to grow personally because AI landscape changes constantly, and you have to be on board every time. And you should be able to organize your personal growth, your knowledge systems, and etc. And last two skills that also very important is our product mindset. It is about understanding user needs and focusing on outcomes for users. So not like, oh, I build a feature. It's about I build a feature that really solves problems of your users and impact products. It's about like delivering results that enhance user experience in your product.
Now, let's talk about an imaginary day in life of an AI engineer. And it is not so imaginable, actually. Uh, so I have this demo problem, which is almost 90% similar to the real problems that occur to me that I need to solve. Uh, and here's the problem. We have on one of our products on a landing page, we have an AI assistant bot that helps you to that gives you a simple answers to frequently asked questions that you're maybe don't want to find on landing page or even not there. And the problem with this bot is when we built it first, it was an MVP, and knowledge that was available to this bot was hard-coded in the source code. You can understand why this is a problem because it's a very low bus factor, it's high latency for making updates, it's high risk of accidental mistakes because trust me, you don't want to commit every time you change a test without running tests. And it is super, super poor scalable. Um, Here is a quick solution to deal with this problem. So we need to keep bot knowledge in a shared space. We want to make it available to all team members. And we want to perform automatic updates to our knowledge base that our bot will use. So there is a solution that I came up with, and we'll go through steps of making this solution real life. So to do so, I have to perform actually 5 tasks with a bunch of different technologies. First, as a convenient tool to share, to manage information that is available to bot, I choose Slack Canvas because everyone have access to it. because it is super friendly and our team is messaging inside the Slack, so no need for one additional tool. And that is it. So I created a Slack canvas with all available information. Next, um, I wanted it to store data somewhere. I needed to create a database to incorporate it into Vault, and I needed to write an SQL code to create a table that will store my data, that will check it for like it is not that it is not null, that it is unique. Yeah, docs. Um, the next step is building a simple microservice that will take my data from Slack and upload it to a database. For the means of it, I used a no-code tool because sometimes it is simpler not to write code, but to use already. Yeah, it is simpler. It is simpler to write code. It is simpler to use already made tools than to write code all by yourself. Um, Now I still need to write some code, so I needed to change the insights of what's happening inside the board. I need to change it logic, not to use knowledge from hard-coded strings, but to use knowledge from a database. And finally, as the bot is running on a dedicated server, I need to change the way it is deployed. I need to make sure that bot have connection with the database, and it is also a crucial step. So to sum it up, a day in life of an engineer consists of various tasks and usage of various technologies, and because of all of it, it is super fun.
Okay, now let's go through the standard interviewing process for such positions of AI engineers. Usually there are 4 stages in the whole process. The stages may vary a bit from company to company, but overall concepts are the same. So the first stage is the screening one. It's a stage where HR tries to assess overall fit of the candidate for a position. Uh, Ivan, can you please switch the slide? Thank you. So the topics that are covered is your previous experience in previous projects, your overall knowledge of AI engineering stacks like LLMs, frameworks, LangChain, etc. Also, it's about understanding of the role expectations, how your previous experience matches the current position. And also, it usually takes into account cultural and team fit and motivation and career goals of the candidate. So to ace the screening stage, you need to stick to the STAR principle. It's the principle where you have like some context and you explain your task in that context and what actions did you take in that context and what were the results. So it's like there was some kind of problem with the product. You find some solution, and that solution increases product metrics for I don't know 10%, for example, or you have some issue in your LLM pipeline, you fixed it, and overall quality increased, something like that. The next stage is a technical stage. The goal of the technical stage is to check whether candidate has enough hard skills. Uh, Good candidates should have right mix of broad and deep knowledge in the topic so in the following topics. The candidates should have proficiency usually with Python, as most of the LLM pipelines are written in Python, and also common AI libraries like LangChain, Llama Index, and etc. Also, it's always great when candidate has fine-tuning experience, like for some task in previous project, or at least understands what's the difference between fine-tuning or and other techniques that may increase quality of the output of the models. Next crucial skill is prompt engineering in its base and context management. Also, candidates should be familiar with vector databases and RAG architectures. And the next one is performance optimizations. Also, it is about when you should use caching or you should use special models that may works very fast, or special providers like I don't know, Grok or Cerebral that have very high token output speed. It's about that. And the last one is debugging skills and handling AI models issues. So to build pipelines that will not break in production, or at least have the smallest chance of breaking in the production. Yeah. Next stage, it is system design stage. Usually it is case-based section where you have to design an AI system that solves some product or business problem. The main idea here is to check how candidate applies technical knowledge from the previous stage to the real problem. It is expected that candidate will collect requirements from the interviewer, and with these requirements design some kind of AI-driven system that may include several AI agents, RAG, and etc. Also, it is expected from candidates that candidate will offer some kind of solution on how to deploy this system. Maybe candidate should design API for this system, and also think about data pipelines and integration with other systems, and also think about like cost estimation and how to reduce costs in some cases. And the last one is candidates should think about monitoring, logging, and evaluating AI solutions, as this part's also very important. Because usually AI solutions works in production a bit differently. Like users may try to break the AI system or to input some unexpected inputs to it, and it's harder to test it in before the production release, because it's not non-deterministic basically. And the last stage is like soft skill stage. It may be also called a behavioral interview, or like culture fit interview, etc. So at this stage, interviewer tries to assess candidates' scope of responsibility on the previous project, and assess like decision-making level, and with and level of uncertainty that candidate is comfortable to work with. So it's like whether the candidate can solve like simple problems that are clearly described to him, or the candidate can take like very uncertain problem, like I don't know, improve quality of the system, like the statement, and be able to define tasks for him Yep. So can you please turn the slide back? Yeah. Also, at this stage, it is important to assess candidate contribution to team goals and product metrics from the previous projects, like understand what exactly can they do to improve these metrics, for example, or to contribute to these goals. Next one is important too, because it's about personal growth. It's about how candidate uh, uh, structures its personal growth, what are the candidate's strengths and growth points, and how candidate works with them. Next one is the work motivation and preferred tasks. It's like about which tasks candidate prefers, and uh, is are these tasks will the candidate's responsibilities will fit these tasks that candidate prefers to do. And the last one is dealing with uncertainty, as I said. The states may look similar to the first one, but typically each topic is covered in more detail at this stage. Yep. So, what are the key takeaways? The main takeaway, as I think, is that AI engineers drive innovation by building products that powered by LLMs. So, all the recent big projects that changed everyone's life, I guess, uh, were built by AI engineers. Also, the next takeaway is that it is essential to master both technical and soft skills, because there is no longer time when engineers like were separate, as I said before. Now engineers are deeply integrated in product development process and work very close to like actual users of the product to solve their problems. Uh, Third one is a continuous learning. So uh, as as AI landscape is changing constantly and rapidly evolving, you should be always on topic in that sphere, in that field. And only persons like who has continuous learning, who is able to do this, will excel. And last one is demand for skilled AI engineers is rapidly growing, because more and more projects that involves AI engineering and some kind of AI engineering evolves, and more and more demand from the market. Okay, so if you if this session sparked your interested and you're thinking that you want to do this too, or that you want to work in the companies that we listed today, like Anthropic or uh, like Notion, etc. Or maybe you want to build your own company that solve some of the problem that use AI. We have a webinar, we have a bootcamp that starts the next Monday. Um it is a webinar. It is a bootcamp for AI engineers. It will last for 8 months, and you will after this bootcamp you will get AI engineering profession that more and more actual in current market, I guess. Uh, So this bootcamp is perfect for all levels. It will fit for beginners, for career switchers that have some software engineering backgrounds or like a non-technical background, and it will fit for experienced developers that want to get into AI stuff. Uh, this bootcamp includes one by one one-on-one mentor support, working with cutting-edge AI tools like Cursor, Windsurf, or JetBrains AI tools. During that bootcamp, you will gain hands-on experience. You will work on real AI projects, and you will build a portfolio of these projects. And also, at the end of this bootcamp, you will get career coaching that will help land you a dream job in company that you want. Like, will help you to build CV, LinkedIn profile, and develop a personalized strategy for you, so you will be able to find a job. So that's all for today, and now we will answer your questions.
And the first question is, what is the best way to build a portfolio as a beginner AI engineer? Any specific types of project you'd recommend? I guess we can both answer this question. So, Ruslan, you're first.
Uh, you may take you may look at like your sphere around you. Like if you have some kind of current job that not engineering job or engineering, you may take a look at the processes in your current job and try to apply AI engineering practices to these processes, and maybe you will automate some processes and make life of people around you easier with it. I think it's one of the way.
Um, yeah, thank you. And for my from my point of view, you don't even need to build something that is about your job or about something serious. Uh, just you can just try to build something fun that you likes to. For example, I know a lot of people are into um, you know yeah, I didn't come up with a good example right now. So I think it is a good way to do something that is fun for you. For example, try to build a bot that, talks with you about music, or try to build a system that can, um, okay, let's continue music sphere, that can talk to you about new albums, that can do something related to it. And it will be easier for you to build because you know the sphere. It will be fun for you to build. And yeah. Um, Moving on. The next question is, um, so yeah, we mentioned, yeah, I'll read it all. Across the essential skills and interview sections, we discussed many skills from coding proficiency, databases, deployment, deep learning, large language models, and even system design. It doesn't seem very realistic to expect a computer science graduate or even a professional with 1 year experience to be proficient in all of the skills mentioned here. Uh, yeah, Ruslan.
Yeah, it's a challenge of the current job market, I think, because due to AI and due to uh, job cuts, I think in the demands uh, for these positions have increased, and yeah, now. You have to be able to do all this uh, to have all these skills, but you can develop them if you study them enough. So you can study system design and try to uh, work on some real life projects, even if you in university or post university. Also, it's great to enroll to some kind of internship during university because it's a great way to gain that experience. Yeah, but current job market is more demanding than before. Yeah.
I'm a bit more optimistic about it. I think that that one doesn't need to know everything. So usually a company seeks for a specialist that is T-shaped, that he knows overview or some basics about all the technologies, but he specialized in kind of, for example, he's special in deploying models to build them efficiently and so on. And this might be a key point for you that gives you a fast start in your career. The next question is, what kind of technical questions do you usually ask when hiring AI engineers?
Maybe you remember what questions we asked
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So uh, during my interview to Hyperscale, I was asked questions about, um, I don't remember everything, but I was asked a lot of about model evaluation of how do we assess if the system or the agents that we built on top of large language model is accurate. How do we measure if it is enough for production or not? Anything to add?
No, I think it's a great example. Yeah.
Okay. How much does an AI engineer bootcamp cost? I guess all the information, yeah, is on a landing
It
page.
costs 2,399, but if we provide promo code for everyone who attended this webinar, and it gives you 30% off from that price.
And the next question is, what would be the best advice you can give to someone who's trying to go further in coding part of these topics?
Mhm.
I don't quite get what topics are mentioned in a question, and I think if you want to go deeper into coding, like understanding of what's happening inside, like Python, of how does it interpret it functions, what is the operators, and so on, you can go to documentation, and it is usually a general answer. There are a lot of important information that is written in documentation. It is a crucial skill to learn is to read it efficiently, and to gain some knowledge from there. Okay, let's move on. Um, do we need to be familiar with core ML algorithms to be an AI engineer? Is the ability to interact with LLM using APIs sufficient in landing a job? Ruslan?
Familiarity with the core ML algorithms are usually not required, but it will be beneficial for you if there is a case where you need to uh, like integrate some ML model, not LLM based, or use some kind of mix of models, because LLMs are not the best for each case, and sometimes like traditional ML model can solve problem better than LLM one. But it will be beneficial, but not required usually.
And the second part of the question is the ability to interact with large language models using APIs sufficient in landing a job?
Mm, ability to interact with LLM models using API alone, I think is not sufficient. You also have to be able to work with AI agents, like build complex structures from different LLM models, and like have system design skills. So, but you don't have to be able to build your own LLM if the question is about it.
I have nothing to add here. Okay, the next question is, what is the usual stack for an AI engineer? What to get familiar with? For example, Java engineer, IntelliJ, Spring, Oracle, Swagger, etc. So, what is the usual stack for an AI engineer?
I think we can open slide uh, like with the comparison. Like usual stack, it is usual stack includes LLM frameworks, and usually it's LangChain. Also, it includes some vector databases or RAG solutions. For example, like Chroma database or something similar. Um, from evaluation standpoint, it's great to be familiar with some kind of evaluation solution like LangFuse, I guess. So it is the base, I think. Yeah.
Um, I can add something to your answer. I can just share what the technologies I'm using. So I'm writing code in mostly two IDEs. First one is Windsurf, which is AI coding agent integrated in IDE, and PyCharm as my main coding IDE. Yeah, so Ruslan already told about different libraries, and I also like to use Supabase for my database storage, database service, and I also like to use Render as a simple hosting solution, but it is not mandatory. Okay, so we are out of questions. You still have some time to write it if you have one. And if not, yeah, I guess we should finish our today's webinar. Thank you everyone for coming. Uh, sorry for my dog, and it was a pleasure to present here in front of all of you. Thank you everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.